Sex on the first night. That's the conversation we're going to have here today on Relationship Thursday. How you guys doing? This is ronsimplifiedmyers, author, podcaster, and your uplifting life partner. Now, this particular topic takes on many different thought processes. It could be people talking about a first date. Sometimes it's just the first actual introduction to someone that maybe you saw at a bar or recently when I was driving. There was a young lady. She had a couple of drinks and she was very, very flirtatious. Matter of fact, was almost in my face while I'm driving, way up on me and talking and saying, if I was your girlfriend, all these kind of different things. If I asked you to drink, and those who know me know I don't drink. But she was like, if I asked you to drink, would you drink? And I'm like, no. And she's like, but if I told you I needed, to relax and I want to drink, I said, you can have a drink. I'm gonna have a Coke or a Sprite or something like that. And she's like, okay, we quit. We're broke up already. Little stuff like that. Very, very flirtatious stuff playing. And then at one point while I'm driving, she was actually, because she was so close, she actually nibbled on my ear. I was like, jump. She's like, see, we broke up already. That's something that could have led to something. But for me, those that know me, again, I'm not looking for that. I'm past those stages. My younger days, what that would have meant, whole different conversation. But today I see the world in a whole different perspective. I'm looking for more than just going to bed with someone. Now, that's a little off topic, but the idea behind this conversation is, if you had it on the first night, does that mean you can have a relationship that will work? No, that's not what it means. You could put a strain and make it complicated to turn into a serious relationship because, like, for example, my thought process is, if this was a young lady that I was in a relationship with, and that's how I met her, now anytime that she goes out and she drinks, I'm going to feel I need to go pick her up personally, because I can't allow someone else to take her home, like another guy or something, or, whether it's a ride share or whatever, because I know how she gets when she drinks. So in those particular situations, that would destroy the possibility of having a long-term relationship because of the way we met. That's why people ask, can a relationship last if you had it on the first date or the first contact with the person? If you had sex with them, can the relationship grow? It's all possible, but it takes more time if, like in this case, that's the way we were introduced to each other. It could lead to something, but it's going to make it awfully hard to gain that trust of the person that saw that, even though if you participate, they would be able to, like in this case, if I participated with that, I can't just all of a sudden judge her and go, that's the way she drinks. She also now has to work on the trust with me, knowing that I followed up. And even though the girl had been drinking, I still took advantage of the situation. Am I that type of individual? So the trust goes both ways. But yes, a relationship can work beyond that. But what I also wanted to comment on is, because there's a lot of ladies that you hear will tell you, almost like a bragging thing, yeah, what you're talking about, that's why I don't go to bed with someone on the first date. But a lot of those young ladies will do it on the second date. Really? Do you really think, because you didn't do it on the first and you did it on the second, he all of a sudden got this new found respect, like, oh wow, she waits a long time, or she's a woman of total integrity, or a woman I can totally trust because she didn't do it on the first day, she did it on the second. Don't kid yourself. If it was that quick, it's that quick. It's the thought process. Some guys will think that the reason you did on the first date is because of who they are. That arrogance stops in. That you wouldn't normally do that with guys, but it's because of who they are. I don't play that arrogant. When I was younger, yeah, I did. I lived in that arena myself, but I understand how you do some things is how you do all things. And not to say people can't change, but when people kind of show you who they are, as you guys have heard it said many times before, believe them. So if they show you, she's kind of showing you where she is at this point in her life, she could change. And that's why I'm saying it could change over time. But my real thing here is, don't believe because you don't do it on the first date, that means that you're a woman of high integrity, or that he now all of a sudden he trusts you and he believes, oh, you're not one of those kind of women, you're not loose because you didn't do it on the first date. Second date, third date, doesn't matter. If that's the way he thinks, that's the way he thinks. But not only that, and that's the reason you guys have heard me also talk about that thing that floats around where they're talking about the 90-day rule. That's the reason that that kind of came into existence, is saying you're given time before you go to bed with someone to basically strengthen that trust issue. And so the person knows you aren't a person that just goes to bed very, very quickly. That's why you guys have heard me say, in terms of the 90-day rule that's floating out there, that's the only part of that that I agree with, is the fact that the time of saying, okay, let's get to know each other, because you got to learn to value yourself and your body and understand you don't just give that to anyone. And so therefore, we're going to take the time. But at the same thought process, I tell people, but don't kid yourself thinking the 90 days means anything except you don't go to bed quickly. That's all it tells. It doesn't tell anything else. It doesn't tell you that he's so madly in love with you, or he wants to be in a serious relationship with you, or any of the stuff that people are trying to make it sound like that 90 days really shows. It doesn't. It doesn't show anything except you have the strength not to go to bed very, very quickly. And the reason I say that is because if a guy is interested in you, it really likes you, and maybe like some of the things you bring to the table, like I said, he likes you, he may be willing to wait 90 days, 6 months, whatever, to get with you. But if he's a guy that is very sexually active, don't think he's waiting to have sex because you're waiting. He's getting his sex somewhere else. So don't think that 90 days is telling you anything else except for, yes, he does like you. He's willing to hold out or whatever. And it's not really a holdout. Folks, you guys know I've done videos on sex. Sex is sex. People make it sound like you're going to die if you don't have it. Folks, go without it, you'll live. It is a deep desire. It's a strong desire. So don't misinterpret what I'm saying. But we have to learn how to control that part of our lives so that you don't start making bad decisions because of sex. Too many people do that. I was had some young ladies I was talking to, what was it, a couple of days ago. One, she had actually called her friend, the girl I had picked up, she, in the ride share. And she was talking to her friend on the phone, and both of them are talking about they ended up at some house and they don't know how they ended up there. That just, to me, is you got to love yourself a little bit more than that. And to get drunk, end up somewhere, don't know how you got there, and then wonder if a guy is going to really want to get in a relationship with you the next day. Just bad signals, bad signals. I think I shared the story, and I'll share it here if I didn't, of the young lady that says she didn't understand men. And this is a little off topic, but she was saying how she was with her girlfriend over to her best friend's. This was her best friend. They were to her boyfriend's house, and the only person there aside from the three of them is his roommate. But the two of them went into the room because she was staying the night, her girlfriend. So it left her and his roommate there. Here it is, 2:30 in the morning. So she calls the ride share, and the guy tells her, "Well, while we're waiting, why don't we go into my room and wait?" Huh? What do you think he's thinking? 2:30 in the morning, he wants you to go in his bedroom. And then she even told me, she said, "Well, nothing was going on in the living room. That's why I went in the room with him." Huh? Nothing was going on in the living room. Isn't that what you want? You're saying then you went into the bedroom. He kissed you, which you were okay with because he's cute. And then he wanted to do more. And then that's when you're like, "Well, let's go in the living room. Let's get some water or something," whatever she said. And he was willing to do that. And I said, "You're very fortunate you didn't have a guy to try to force himself." And I said, and that's where young ladies get in trouble in those instances, because then people kind of question your conversation when you say it's 2:30 in the morning. You say yourself, nothing was going on in the living room. Then you go in the bedroom with him at 2:30 in the morning. You don't mind kissing him because you think he's cute. And then he tries something else. People are going to have a hard time listening to that conversation and feeling like you didn't send mixed signals. No, it's no, folks. Don't misinterpret. When you say no, it means no. But I'm saying that the people are going to look at your conversation and go, did he really take it? Is she somebody that's angry, trying to get back at him? But there's too many questions that start to flow. Why? Because of the actions that you took. So be very, very responsible in your decision making. And this does come back to the conversation where we're saying on the first night, make sure you think and be responsible for that decision. And please don't use alcohol as an excuse. I hear so many people do that. They'll drink and then go, "Oh, I wouldn't have normally done that, but it was the alcohol." Folks, that's an excuse. You use the alcohol to do something that you, quote unquote, wouldn't ordinarily do, but that's the reason you took the alcohol, so that you felt loose to do it and justify it by drinking alcohol. So, and again, that's not every situation, but it is in most. It's the alcohol is being used as an excuse to justify those decisions. But anyway, bottom line of this particular conversation is, the sex on the first night basically tell you where the relationship is going? No. People will argue that and go, no man is going to marry a woman that goes to bed on the first night. That's a lie. Prostitutes get married every single day. And that's not knocking the profession. I'm just saying, here's a person that's been active with a bunch of different people, and same night, activities, money's being transferred, that type of stuff, and they're getting married. So to ever put a blanket statement is not correct. But it does depend on who it is you're trying to get in a relationship, will tell the story that you're sending based on that particular action. So you have to decide on, and that's why I always say get clear on what it is you're looking for, because you got to think about, what a guy who is looking for a woman as a spouse, like in my case, is he going to settle for a woman that is willing to go to bed the first day he meets her? Chances are very slim. No, it's not impossible. And if you're looking for that guy that you're wanting to be serious for a serious relationship, you may mess that possibility up by being the person that does go on the first, even the second, even the third. Don't kid yourself thinking, well, I wait a week and so he knows I'm not easy. Folks, don't play that game with yourself. The first night, a week from now, not going to make that much of a difference. And it's not only that, it's the decision thought process of the guy that you're with. If you wait 2 times, he'll be like, she's still loose, if that's the way he thinks. So the bottom line is, as I've said, do not use your body as a negotiating tool. It's not to try to capture somebody. So be very careful how you use your your body, I should say, as a sex tool, if that's what you're using it as. But anyway, as you guys know, it ain't right, it ain't wrong. It is my opinion. Now, if you haven't had the opportunity to download my app, go over to Google Play or Apple Store. It's Simplified You, the word simplified, the letter U, not the word use. Simplified You, 2 separate words. And it's a free download. I actually included my book, The Relationship Success Handbook, Get Rid of Your Problems, Not Your Partner. I did it as a free download. It's attached. I mean, you could buy the physical book at Amazon, but it's actually inside the app. This is more about branding, getting my name out so people know who I am, than this is about trying to sell a book. So enjoy the book, download the app, and as you guys know, if you're not having fun, you should be doing something else. Folks, please don't believe the first night is the end, but also don't believe the first night is making it a good signal also. It's always going to depend on the two parties, but I'm just saying, be aware of your actions, because they will dictate what will flow as far as your future. All right, I'll talk to you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.